Hey guys, this is Chubs, and I just thought I'd bring you all some first impressions of Cuphead. I've played through the first world now, so I sort of feel comfortable enough to sit down and talk to you all about it and let you know what I think about the game. So, Cuphead is an indie platformer that was just released for PC and Xbox One. It is not available on PS4 for some reason, and I don't even think there are any plans to put it on PS4. So if you're a PlayStation guy, that's sort of a crappy situation, but sometimes I guess that's just how it goes. But as you can see from this footage, one of the things that immediately sets Cuphead apart from the competition is its unique style. The developers of Cuphead have really gone to great lengths to give this game the exact same style as old cartoons like from the 1930s and around that time period. Not only does it look like those cartoons, it even sounds like them. They have just done a phenomenal job at sort of replicating that style, and this is really just a completely gorgeous game. It's a real treat just to even sit back and watch. And thankfully, Cuphead's uniqueness kind of goes beyond that. Even when it comes to the gameplay, it does a lot of really cool things, and I'm sort of going to talk to you all about those. So first of all, something I think is kind of cool about the game is that it has this sort of overworld that you walk around on to choose levels. Now, of course this is, a lot of games have done this before, but something that immediately came to mind, or a game that it immediately reminded me of, was Commander Keen 4, Secret of the Oracle. I used to play this game when I was a kid on DOS, and it just reminded me of that, how just like in Commander Keen 4, you can kind of roam around the overworld and you can hit the levels in all kinds of different orders. Of course, there are some more recent games that have done that, like Super Mario 3D World on the Wii U, but for whatever reason, Commander Keen is what immediately came to mind. But something else that's sort of unique about Cuphead is that the gameplay seems to be separated into two different types of levels. So the first type of level, and really the main type, is like basically just a boss fight. The second type of level is really more along the lines of a traditional platformer level. You just, you move left to right, attacking enemies along the way, and then you try and reach the end, and really that's it. There's not a boss battle at the end or anything like that. It's just, you're fighting regular enemies along the way. So, I find it very interesting that the game is broken up into those types of levels, because in most platformers the way that it works is you start in a traditional level, you go left to right, and then whenever you get to the end, that is when the boss appears, and then you beat the boss, and then you go to the next level, and that formula sort of repeats. In Cuphead, the bosses and the levels they're kept like totally separate from each other, and you can play them in any order. So that's, I can't think of any games off the top of my head that have really done that. So, I think that's really cool, and it's something that, that makes this game stand out from a level design and from a gameplay standpoint. Something else that's kind of cool about this game is it has some sort of like RPG things going on with it. So when you're in the overworld, you can go around and you can talk to these characters, and some of them will help you out by giving you these coins. You can also find these coins in the traditional platformer levels, but when you collect these coins, you can go to these item shops on the overworld, and you can purchase these items that you can sort of equip like in different orders in your inventory, and these items will give you different boosts, and you can get different weapons and things like that. And so you can like equip these things in different orders to make you excel in certain situations. One example of this is you can get this weapon it's short range, but it does extra damage. And then you can get like there's this charm that you can get, and you can equip it, and it gives you an extra health point, but it makes your attacks do a little bit less damage. So you can sort of mess around with the combinations of these items and weapons to get like a character build that you like, and you can test it out in levels. Then you can go back out to the overworld and you can change up your character build by trying out another combination. And it's kind of cool. It's sort of like an RPG. There's not a leveling system or anything like that. It's really, it's just, I guess it's more like just an inventory system. But I found that unique. That's something that I haven't seen too often. But one thing I really do want to point out about this game, and that you will immediately find out if you play it, is this is a very, very, very challenging game. It really caught me off guard, I have to admit, because from the very beginning, you're thrown into these really tough boss fights, and even the very first traditional platforming stage was killing me off. So I think really what makes this game so difficult is the boss fights tend to last quite a while. I mean, they can last up to several minutes, and throughout these fights, your health can never be refilled, so you don't get like if you take a hit, you can't pick up like a heart or anything like that to get that health back. It just stays gone. And when you die, you have to restart from the very, very beginning. There are no checkpoints or anything. So, it really tasks you with trying to play through these fights perfectly, because, anytime you take a hit, that damage is permanent. You can't get that health back. And, if you die, you're going all the way back to the beginning. So, it really, what it results in is a lot of trial and error gameplay. And since these bosses last so long, and, they're so elaborate with so many different patterns and attacks, you really have to play them over and over and over again to master them, and to know like where to stand, how to react to certain attacks that they launch and things like that in order to beat them. It really will test your skills and your patience as well. And like I said, even the stages that aren't boss fights, those traditional platformer levels, those can be tough too. The way that they arrange the enemies and the obstacles and stuff, it can really test your skills. So that I really just have to emphasize that this game is really difficult, so don't let the cute graphics fool you. This game is really going to kick your butt over and over again. So, and I really think that the difficulty is something that'll draw a lot of people in. Because a lot of people these days, I mean, if you look at games like Dark Souls, even Super Meat Boy, games that will kill you over and over again, those have developed big fan bases, and I can see Cuphead sort of being the same way. But I really think that covers most of my impressions. I think the gameplay is great. The controls are very responsive. Even though it is a really challenging game, the difficulty doesn't necessarily feel cheap. Like I said, it is mostly just trial and error, and learning from your mistakes and coming back stronger using the knowledge that you gained from your previous failed attempts. But I highly recommend checking this game out. It's really unique. Even going past the awesome art and audio. I mean, it's just a fun game to play. It's a tough game. It's rewarding, and it's definitely worth checking out. It's not very expensive either. I think it's like $20. But definitely give it a shot. If you guys have any questions about the game, just leave a comment below. And thank you for watching. And this is Chubb signing out.